Back in her car, Cindy thought about Laura. She had handled it all wrong. Laura had suddenly gone silent. Go away was all she would say. Nothing more.
Maybe she's too scared. But who did Laura see? What did she see? Maybe Laura did it. After all, she had all that blood on her dress. What if she didn't get it kneeling down beside the body? Wait a minute, what am I thinking? Laura, a hatchet murderer? Cindy, get real.
The car purred along. No one knew where she was. Not that anyone cared. Her parents were out partying for charity at some big bucks-a-plate dinner. Her brother was God knows where.
My brother. Where is Dorian? Now he is someone who is capable of murder. Yeah, maybe Dorian did it.
When Cindy got home, it was late. Her parents' Continental was still out. So was Dorian's BMW. Cindy slotted her car into its space, powering the garage door closed behind her. She'd just gotten out of her car when she heard Dorian's car arriving. She stepped back in the shadows and waited as the garage door went back up. Driving like a bat out of hell, Dorian slammed the car into the last space at the far end of the garage and screeched to a halt. She watched as Dorian staggered out of the car, his breath coming in rasps. Then he bolted out of the garage like the devil himself was following. Cindy stepped forward from the shadows. The lights from the police patrol car swept the Cemetery Point gate as it pulled to a halt outside it. The two officers inside peered ahead in the darkness. Something wasn't right. The officer in the passenger seat reached for her flashlight.
What do you think, Harris? See anything?
I can't tell, Sarge. Looks like the barbed wire's been stretched a bit in the gate. We better check, I guess.
Yeah, take a look. I'll radio in. Car 21 to Central.
Go ahead, Unit 21.
Yeah, we're at the gate to Cemetery Point. Looks like somebody might have been in there again. We're going to take a look around.
Roger, 21. Be careful. Do you require backup?
No, I don't think so. If we do, you'll hear from us. 10-4 for now.
Roger, 21. Keep us posted. 10-4.
How about it, Harris? Find anything?
I'm not sure, Sarge. Look at this. Something's caught on the barbed wire.
What is it?
Leather. A strip of leather.
Looks like a piece from a leather jacket.
Yeah, it wasn't here before.
She flashed her bright light through the wire back into the shadows. All around them was nothing but silent, eerie darkness.
I'm gonna take a look. Here, hold this wire up for me, will you? And watch my back. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm sure glad there are two of us here tonight.
Well, there were 11 of them to begin with.
Who would be stupid enough to come out here after something like that?
I don't know. Thrill seekers, maybe.
Yeah.
She turned her flashlight to a new direction of darkness, swept it again, and froze. Something lay motionless in the white beam. Something horrible.
Oh, my God! Sarge! Get over here, quick!
Cindy stood outside the door of Dorian's bedroom, listening. From the time he had entered and locked his door, there hadn't been a sound from within.
Dorian? Dorian, I know you're in there.
Go away, Cindy. Don't you think you've done enough?
I think we need to have a little talk about what happened tonight.
It's unlocked. What do you want, Cindy?
What did happen tonight, Dorian?
Nothing.
Nothing. Where'd you go?
Out.
Who'd you go with?
Nobody.
Oh, and you didn't do anything.
I drove around.
Well, you must have hit something, because there are scratches all over your car and sand all over your tires. Remember, Dorian? Remember when I was 5 and you were 7? Remember how you locked me in the trunk in the attic?
You're lying.
No, it's the truth. I was there for hours alone in the dark. You'd think I'd be afraid of the dark after that, wouldn't you, Dorian? But it didn't work out that way. Because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I came back for you. It was a joke. A joke. What you tried was murder.
Dorian, what are you saying? I locked you in that closet because I was afraid of you. Then, Did you think I would do to you what you did to me, that I wouldn't let you out?
But the fire!
The fire was an accident, Dorian.
It was the fire department that let me out.
I told them you were there. I saved your life. You should thank me.
Get out.
And I've been the one they've blamed ever since. Not you. Me.
Get out!
I'm going. But, if I were you, Big Brother, I wouldn't let anybody else see the state of your car. They might get the wrong idea.
Jane felt tired and afraid and alone. All day at school, everyone kept watching, waiting. Foy was acting weird, like he wasn't there, and Cher wasn't even home. Jane didn't have anyone to talk to, so she'd come out for a walk. Then Dade pulled up beside her at the curb.
Jane! Jane, please.
Go away, Dade. Leave me alone.
Jane, you shouldn't be out so late alone. It's not safe.
Janie,
What do you want?
I'll walk with you. Unless you'll come for a ride. Come on, what do you say?
Does Cindy know where you are?
No. And I don't know where she is either.
All right. Let's go for a ride.
Where do you want to go to?
Far, far away. Somewhere that isn't here.
Janie, every place turns into here sooner or later.
Not always. I won't be here forever. And wherever I go, it's gonna be different. I'm going to be different.
Changing the scenery don't change the performer.
Maybe I just don't want to perform anymore.
Good. I'm tired of performers.
You're strange, Dade.
Wait till you get to know me.
I don't want to wait, Dade. I want to know you now.
They were parked in the Overlook, opposite Cemetery Point. Jane had a brief moment to think about Halloween and Cemetery Point and Wills. A briefer moment to think about Cindy. Then she stopped thinking altogether. Until a few minutes later, when she glanced again out of her window and saw the flashing lights out on Cemetery Point, saw them careening away toward town along the coast road.
Dade, look.
Oh my God.
It's happening again, isn't it? I wonder which one of us it is this time.
Dorian was staring at the side of his car, at the deep gouges made by the branches in his panic-stricken escape. Someone was trying to scare him. Georgie probably wasn't even dead. This whole routine was probably Cindy's idea. He had to stop panicking. He took a deep breath. Time to ease on down the road. But to where? He couldn't go back to school. Being suspended for cheating had put that away for him. He turned and almost screamed. Someone was standing in the corner of the garage. She walked toward him. Then Dorian realized he was right. It had all been some awful joke. Georgie wasn't really dead.
You're sick, Georgie. Did it turn you on doing that to me? You got so excited you had to come and find me, is that it?
Is that what you think, Dorian?
Dorian moved towards her, his hands clenched. Georgie waited, smiling. Charity sat in a booth at the burger bar, alone. She'd been there a couple of hours. It was comforting, the jelly bean colors, the relentless piped-in music. She should have gone over to Jane's, but she didn't want to. She just wanted to sit there and not think about Jones, or love, or death. Funny how those three things seem to go together. She slid her hand into her pack and touched the spine of the journal. And suddenly the burger bar felt confining. She looked at her watch. It was time to cruise. Cher walked slowly across the burger bar parking lot, her pack bumping against her back. Then she heard it, sensed it. Someone was behind her.
No!
Dade pulled his car into the hospital parking lot and led the way toward the emergency room entrance. An ambulance was backed up to the door, its lights still flashing. Georgie's father was standing beside it. A police officer was saying something to him, her face a mask of professional sympathy. Nurses and doctors bustled as a stretcher was lowered gingerly from the ambulance and hustled through the ER doors. Beyond, the scene was one of frantic motion and white light. The ambulance driver was closing the doors at the back of his vehicle. Dade approached him.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Can you tell us what happened?
Nobody knows. It looks like she got a dose of Jack the Ripper like the other guy did.
Georgina. It was Georgina.
They don't know who it is yet. She's too badly torn up. Hey, you guys shouldn't be here.
Georgina's father had gone inside. They could see him through the windows talking to the police. Just then, a doctor came towards them down the corridor. He took off his glasses and slowly shook his head. And Jane knew Georgina was dead too. In the Burger Bar parking lot, Charity was trying to bring her racing heart back under control.
Oh, Rick, boy, you guys scared me to death. Could you have called out or something?
Sorry, Chair. We were just hanging and saw you.
We were kind of looking for Jane.
Jane?
I called and she wasn't home. She went out for a walk.
This isn't exactly the safest time to be out in the dark alone.
She's probably home by now anyway.
But Foy looked as unconvinced as Cher felt. Fishing in her pocket, she nodded toward the phone booth at the corner of the parking lot.
I'm gonna give her a quick call, okay?
Good idea. We'll wait.
When Cher called Jane's house, Hodges answered the phone. Jane wasn't back yet. And Cher suddenly began to feel very, very afraid. Standing in the shadowy overhead lights of the garage, Dorian could feel the sweat on his palms and forehead. Funny you could be so sweaty and so cold at the same time.
Georgie? Georgina?
The figure in the shadows took a step towards him this time. He stepped back.
You're not really dead.
Oh, I'm not dead. I'm very, very hard to kill.
She took another step towards him. Dorian took another step back, felt the cool metal of his car beneath his hands, smelled the rank smell of sweat, his sweat, and another smell, a cloying stench, a dead smell.
No, you're not Georgie.
And now Dorian smelled another, sharper smell, gasoline.
Get away! Don't come any closer! Who are you?
Who do you want me to be, Dorian?
The figure in Georgie's shape smiled, reached down, came up with a pack of cigarettes and a match. Slowly, it took a cigarette out of the pack.
You killed Wills, didn't you? And Georgie.
Who shall I be? The first time, I was a sorry sight. I could barely get it together for Wills. But then, with sweet Georgina, I could be a little more creative.
Jack the Ripper?
Old Dorian! Jack the Ripper! Or Clarence? Or, in the nautical line, Captain! But I like Jack. Yes, Jack will do for now.
Smiling, the figure that was not Georgie clenched the cigarette between its teeth. Slowly it struck a match, made an elaborate show of lighting the cigarette.
Careful light, Dorian.
No! Get away!
The lit match flew through the air.
Get away!
Yes. Tell them. Jack's back.